Now, we know Ebrahim Raisi is a hardliner who activists say ordered the mass executions of political prisoners back in 1988. So what should we expect from a Raisi presidency in 2021?
Well, it's very difficult to predict on the basis of what happened back in 1988. I mean, he is a hardliner, and I think everybody expects that he will continue hardline policies, especially on social issues, the role of women, etc. What we don't know, of course, is what he's going to do on the international level. But there's been a lot of time that's gone by since 1988. The conditions are different. So I don't think we should expect mass executions, but you'll see a much tougher regime that takes on its opponents. And there are a lot of opponents today in Iran because people are very disenchanted. And we still don't know whether or not that 62% is really a real number or it's a made-up number. As you may have noticed, the election officials decided to keep the polls open way beyond the regular time. Clearly, they were not satisfied with the turnout. They were trying to get more people to vote. So there's a great deal of uncertainty about even this supposedly major victory with 62% of the vote.
Now, you touched on this earlier about how he might act on the international stage. What do you think this means in particular for the negotiations that are happening right now to revive the Iran nuclear deal?
Look, everybody's guess is that Raisi has 45 days before he becomes president. So the current president, Rouhani, is going to remain president for another 45 days. The question is, can he fashion out a deal with the Americans in 45 days? And if he does, then Raisi will say, look, this was done by the previous government. It's a legitimate agreement, and since everybody in Iran is interested in the lifting of sanctions to relieve the economic situation, he will go ahead and accept a deal. The question is, can a deal be formalized in 45 days? I think people think it's too short of a time to do it. So it's possible that he will have to negotiate a deal with the Americans, and that's going to be much harder because he may want tougher conditions. The Americans may also increase their own conditions only because they will be looking at Raisi as potentially a much more difficult opponent in Iran. So it remains to be seen. I don't think we know enough at this stage to be able to say. As I said, ideally, Raisi would like his predecessor to conclude the deal, but I'm not sure that can be done.
Okay, Henri Barkey, I'm afraid that's all we have time for today, but thank you very much for joining us here on France 24.
Thank you.